Hi, this is Derek, and welcome to Old Man White Belt, a continuing video blog about my experience of going back to Jiu-jitsu. And today is going to be sort of a wrap-up of my activity for the week, along with an example of what Jiu-jitsu hair looks like after class. This is not normally what I appear to be when I go out and try to impress people, but after you roll around on a mat in a hot gym for a little bit, and it sort of gets like this. So this is jiu-jitsu hair, and I'm happy to report I survived the week. Monday was awesome. It seems sort of like the classes were being broken up into a standing technique and then an on-the-ground technique, about 50-50. When I went Monday, we practiced a standing arm lock, and then on the ground we practiced arm bar from guard. And then Wednesday, we started with a takedown, pretty simple one where you step in and then you hook the leg that's closest to you, kick straight back, and then take a big giant step to the side and basically just lay the person down on their back and come down in a mount or side control, I guess. Mostly, if you did it right, and I was trying really hard to do technique right this week. As an older guy, I think it's going to behoove me to focus on technique, because I'm not going to be more athletic than other people. I'm not going to be quicker than other people. I'm not going to be stronger than other people necessarily. So I want to do this smart, like an old guy should. Where was I? Anyway, the takedown was really cool and really simple, but I sort of wrenched my back because I wasn't really educated about how to fall, which is something that my instructor addressed tonight, which was really cool. I'm glad he took the time out to talk to me about it, because this guy's interesting. I'll be honest with you. Like, I was talking to another white belt, and I just mentioned that my back was hurting. And my instructor heard it from clear across the room. Why is your back hurting? What happened? How did it happen? And instead of giving me ways to help my back, he educated me about how to be the bad guy in a takedown situation and not hurt my back in the first place. So that was a really cool tactic that I didn't expect from him. But this guy's got sharp ears, and if you're talking about an issue or a situation or something, he could be working with somebody clear across the room, and he hears that stuff. He totally does. Next thing you know, he's right there, and he's explaining to you not just what the proper technique is, but in my case, he's been talking to me about ways that I can do things to sort of compensate for my size right now, and creating space and stuff like that, which, sort of, I guess, is going above and beyond, really. He could just straight teach technique, but he talked tonight quite a bit about different body styles of people that you might encounter doing jiu-jitsu, and how they might have different flexibility, and how you may have to apply a submission differently, using different leverage based on somebody's limb length, their flexibility, their strength, their compactness, all these different things. And I thought that was really interesting, because he's totally right. I mean, you could do a triangle 1,000 times, but then if you got a guy with a 52-inch chest and great big shoulders, and that's going to be different than rolling against a guy who's 170 pounds. And so that is like fascinating to me that he talks about stuff like that, and he makes sure to mention stuff like that during his training or his teaching. So that was cool. I said that I thought I had a pretty good idea on how they teach as far as their curriculum being split up between stand up and on the ground stuff. But then tonight when we came in, we did all on the ground stuff, which was cool because honestly, I think the guard game for me is something that's really, really super attractive. I've always loved, ever since UFC 1, I've always loved being dangerous from the ground, or somebody who is dangerous from the ground. I remember Hoist Gracie being supremely dangerous from the ground. And I think that's where, obviously my game could change night and day 100 times between now and even blue belt. So I'm not sticking to any one thing, and I'm not going to stake my ground on any one thing. But I really do like being on my back and having somebody in my guard, and then looking for options from there. Honestly, I think from the guard, I'd be looking for attacks more than sweeps. I'm just comfortable there. I feel safe. I don't have as much confidence even in being mounted on somebody and staying up there and trying to find a submission from there. And I know that seems dumb, but for me, being underneath somebody and looking for them to post on the mat with a hand, or create space for a triangle setup, that is fascinating to me. So we got a lot of that tonight. We worked both on securing a Kimura. I can never say that right. It's named after the guy that did it, I guess. And it's super cool. One of the things that I learned tonight from my performance was that when I would switch my hand from the collar over to feed it through and then get the lock, I wasn't grabbing far enough down towards the elbow. I was trying to feed my arm through up around the shoulder, and it was hard to reach my own hand in order to complete the Kimura lock on somebody's arm. And my instructor was right on top of it. Next thing I know, he's right there, and he explains that, hey, if you move your arm down 2 inches closer to this guy's elbow, you're going to be able to thread your arm through, get a hold of your other arm with a good solid grip, and then, start lock the leg, and then control the body and turn towards the sky and all that sort of stuff. But I was having trouble getting my arm threaded through and getting that grip. And him telling me, hey, slide down 2 inches towards the elbow, that might seem easy for most people to just get naturally, but I didn't even think about it. So that was a really good training tip that impacted me and will help my jiu-jitsu immediately. That's the kind of stuff that really turns me on now. I'm getting I gotta be honest with you, I'm a week deep after a long, long, forever absence, and I'm starting to love it again. I'm starting to read about it again. I'm starting to watch videos again. I honestly, I think this is going to be great therapy, as well as whatever physical benefits I can get from it. It's already making me feel a little bit better, and I don't know if I guess I've addressed my PTSD issues and anxiety issues in the very first video that sort of explains what I'm doing and why I'm doing it, and it's not as bad, honestly, after training 3 days this week, and I might get in a fourth. It depends on how my back feels. Taking that fall the other night and not really knowing what I was doing was that impacted me, and that's one of the differences between being a young guy doing this and being an old guy doing this. And why I was talking about the importance of technique before, because I think with good technique, I'll be less likely to get hurt. And honestly, I just really wasn't doing what I was supposed to be doing. Sort of my fault. I mean, the other guy that was doing the takedown, he was doing what he was supposed to be doing, but and I don't blame him for me feeling poorly tonight. But now that I'm educated about it, I can make sure that doesn't happen again, and hopefully avoid any lapses in training. I that's one of the things that greatly concerns me at my age, is that I'll become injured and have to sit out of class or something. And I didn't get as many reps in tonight as what I could have, simply because I was still in pain from Wednesday night's takedowns. And if I can do the technique properly and know what I'm supposed to do when I'm supposed to do it, I can hopefully avoid some of those injury issues that really don't need to be there, just because lack of knowledge on my part. I'll be able to avoid some of those things in the future, and that's learning too, I guess. I think I'm making progress in every area. I think Monday I have a doctor's appointment, so I'll find out whether or not I've dropped a few pounds. The boy and I went to the grocery store today, and we got, instead of buying garbage that he could eat and I would have access to, we didn't. We bought stuff that's going to be healthy for both of us and within the sort of calorie range where I want to stay. And I'm going to try to get some walking in and get some extra cardio. And I'm going to try to do something about abdominal strength. I think that'll help my back a lot if I start working on that. I've heard that for years. I'm assuming that that's true. If you build up your abdominal strength, it'll protect your back. So I definitely need to make that a focus going forward. Cardio fitness needs to be a focus going forward. And, previous to this, I was making my emotional health a focus all the time. But I think as a function of going to jiu-jitsu, that might take care of itself. I mean, I can tell you I feel better today as a person and as an individual than what I did last Friday, for sure, 100%. And so far, with all the other stuff that I do, the writing that I do, the shows that I do occasionally, nothing really has given me that sort of positive feeling like this, doing this training this week. So week 1 is in the books. I survived it, and I think I definitely learned some things. I learned some things, not just technique-wise, but I learned some things about myself. And, I also want to put this out there. Not just the instructor being a positive, but the other people that are training at this place seem almost eager to help. Everybody that I've talked to and spoken to, they've come back and sort of made an effort to be nice to me. And I don't know if you experience that a lot, but I don't. We live in a tense world right now, and a lot of the places that we go to and we interact with other people, they're tense. And it wears on you. But going to jiu-jitsu, everybody in there has been nice. It's amazing. It's like somebody discovered a wonder drug and only fed it to the people with jiu-jitsu. Haven't seen anybody with any ego issues that I have to worry about. We don't have, from what I can tell, we don't have any of those guys that roll with you and will hurt you just cause they can. That was one of the things that scared me, and I may be a little bit too timid in drilling some of the submissions that we've done because I don't want to hurt anybody. I don't want to get that moniker of the guy that might accidentally hurt you. So I've been super hesitant to get too deep on anything and make anybody possibly get injured in any way. So overall, I'd say that my progress has been huge in just a week's time, and that doesn't mean just retaining jiu-jitsu knowledge. It means the goals that I had set for myself at the beginning of this were, one, to get physically healthier, and two, to get emotionally healthier. And yeah, I've done both those this week, I think. So any of you folks that are following along, I appreciate you. If you got any positive feedback or any ideas for me, I'll be glad to hear them. Some people have reached out to me and said, hey, this is a really good move for you. We're glad you're doing this. And everybody at Jiu-Jitsu has been super positive about me being there and wanting me to come back. And that makes me want to come back. So overall, all the people that have been tangentially associated with this, from the people who have commented on Facebook or YouTube or sent me personal messages, to the people at the academy who have personally helped me this week, everybody around it has been great. And with my anxiety, I've always sort of felt like everything outside of my own little personal space was dangerous to me and a threat. And so I guess I treated people on that basis. And this week, people haven't been a threat. Things are getting better. Thanks again. I'll see you next time.